Hello again and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Chadarena. Not that long ago, I went back and watched a bunch of weird as hell kids shows so I could save you guys the trouble of having to watch them yourselves. And now that they're all scarred into my memory, you have all shouted out for more. So once again, I went looking at some bizarre kids TV shows that people thought kids would actually want to watch, and I'm going to bring them to you today for today's list of top 10 scary kids shows part 2. For this list I did a good mix of obscure weird stuff that I had never heard of before, and some shows that I actually like myself that just have some scary moments in them. So make sure you stick around for the whole list to see how many of these shows you've actually watched before. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. If you haven't gone to Most Amazing Top 10 on social media like Instagram or Facebook, go check it out. There's loads of more content on there and you can get to know myself and the other hosts a little bit better. And without taking any longer, let's get into the list. Number 10, Booba. Stuff you watch as a kid always seems way different when you get older. Like if you go back and watch Shrek, you see all the jokes that were tucked away for adults. Or if you go back and watch Peter Pan, you get to see all the racism that wasn't tucked away at all. For real, the original animated Peter Pan is like hella racist now. It's like propaganda level racist. Now, Booba will make you think about how horribly people were treated, but it will make your Uncle Steve feel like he's having a flashback from the first time he went to Burning Man. This trippy weird cartoon was clearly made to keep babies entertained with its bright colors and strange Teletubby-ish characters, but it looks more like something you would see after you were abducted by aliens. If when you got abducted, the aliens hit you with 7 tabs of acid and then spun you around until you vomited. It's weird stuff like this that makes me think there's some sort of creepy subliminal programming going to make all kids react to different colors in strange ways. Number 9, JJ the Jet Plane. Sometimes when you take a face and slap it onto an inanimate object, it comes out cute and playful, like Thomas the Tank Engine. And other times it looks like what a war vet has PTSD dreams about. JJ the Jet Plane is a show about sentient planes who I'm assuming work as planes because if you want to survive in corporate America, you better get a job. Talking planes are not. And on the front of these freakazoid jets are giant human faces that make my sleep paralysis demon look like 2003 Britney Spears. What makes these creations even more unsettling is when they're standing next to real people. This gives you the opportunity to give a direct comparison to the monstrosity before you. I also wonder about how more of these half-human, half-plane creations come into the universe. Do these planes bang and then give birth to little planes that grow over time? Or are they built? Is there a bomber plane out there that's having an identity crisis who's like, I want to love, but I was only made to kill? Number 8, the Demon Headmaster. Yeah, we all know school sucks. All you do is get homework, you get ignored by your crush, and it seems like the whole process is an indoctrination system to get people used to the idea of following blind orders with only moderate reward so you can be an obedient slave for our Illuminati overlords. What a bummer. But what if the person running the school was actually trying to kill you? Well, good thing I didn't forget my algebra homework. This show is about, you guessed it, a demon headmaster who is trying to use his position to control all the students and eventually...
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
He has hypnotic eyes which he can use to control the minds of kids at school. Any show that has a creepy old white dude who controls the minds of kids can get onto my list of no thank you, I don't want any more of this. How about next time you just have a fun show where kids hang out in a park, throw rocks at each other like the good old days. Number 7, PIPKINS. I guess because I grew up in the anime era, I never watched shows with like real people in them. Why would I watch shows like Friends when Moses was splitting the Red Sea with a Beyblade? That is way more interesting than whether or not Monica is gonna sleep with the new guest character. But before my time, kids shows starring real people were all the rage, and the way they would give a little bit more childlike flair was with puppets, and puppets are just right underneath clowns when it comes to creepiness. A show famous for this was Pipkins. It was a British TV show with all sorts of different kinds of puppet mascots, some of which that looked like they were made in the same dungeon that Leatherface mixes human skin masks. One of the worst of the bunch was Hankley Hare. It was a rabbit that looks like it was scraped off the road 15 minutes before they threw him on camera. I mean, if you're making something for kids, at least put a little effort into not giving them nightmares. It was almost like the producer said, you know, people never forget what they're afraid of. It's the best marketing strategy. Number 6, Courage the Cowardly Dog. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved the show, but now looking back, it could easily be named Schizophrenia the Series. The show is about Courage, who is of course course, a cowardly dog and must continuously protect his owners from the supernatural and paranormal horrors which terrorize them on a daily basis. It's basically every horror movie just blasted at one poor pup who is really just trying to live in peace. And the worst part about this is when Courage isn't defending his two owners Eustace and Muriel from the onslaught of doom which is constantly coming after them, Eustace abuses Courage! Are you kidding me? This bitter old man treats this poor sweet dog like trash after everything he's done for him. Completely unacceptable. On the plus side, something disturbing happens to Eustace almost every episode, which brings joy to my heart. Number 5. Cat Dog. I bet a bunch of you watched Cat Dog when you were a kid. I was with you on that. A fun, wacky show about a cat and a dog that were linked together. They're traditionally meant to fight, but what will happen when they're stuck to each other? Will they get along? It's a pretty fun, lighthearted show, but looking back on it, Cat Dog seems like something you would find in a serial killer's basement. Two animals merged into one and forced to live together. It wouldn't surprise me if this kids show was the inspiration for Human Centipede. If you don't know what that is, please don't look it up. And I know just by saying that you're gonna go look it up, but at least I warned you not to look it up. When you scar yourself for the next 6 months, you can't blame me. The thing that creeps me out most about Cat Dog is you have a head on either side. Both heads talk, both have independent thoughts, and both heads eat. So where does Cat Dog poo? Does it eat and poo? Does each mouth also have a butthole that poop comes out from each end? Or is there a hidden butthole somewhere in the middle? I would like someone to contact the creators of Cat Dog and please let me know or I will not be able to sleep tonight. Number 4. Dragon Ball Z. Easily one of the best shows ever created. You have epic fights, ridiculous storylines, people coming back from the dead, changing their hair color. It's basically a soap opera for single dudes and I wouldn't have it any other way. But this show has had some pretty messed up moments. From Gohan watching his dad die in front of him and then getting kidnapped by a dude who is his dad's sworn enemy and then being forced to train in the wilderness like some sort of animal, to Krillin getting blown up by Frieza in front of all his friends. There were even entire planets which would get wiped off the face of the universe. Probably one of the most twisted things was Majin Buu, who would turn people into candy and then eat them. This is like old school Hansel and Gretel horror fairy tale level stuff. There's even an episode where Chi-Chi gets turned into an egg and then crushed in front of her son. I hope being Super Saiyan comes with a good healthcare plan, because that kid is going to need tons of therapy. Number 3. Uh-oh. Back in the early days of the amazing world of Canadian television, there was a show called Uh-oh. The show was basically mild forms of child abuse. It was a game show with a wacky host named Wink Yahoo, real name, where kids would compete in a bunch of slime-themed challenges in the hopes of winning such amazing prizes as a 1999 JVC cassette player or Pantorama jeans. It wasn't the incredibly lame prizes that made this show such a terror, but it was the villain of the whole thing, who was the Punisher. He looked like a cross between Jason Voorhees and the Gimp from Pulp Fiction, and his only job was to slime kids. No thank you. But all in all, the show was pretty harmless fun. The worst part about it really is going back to watch it and seeing how painfully 90s it is. It's some of the cheesiest things I've ever seen. Number 2, Adventure Time. Again, one of my favorite shows, but there are so many underlying themes and storylines in this show that are super depressing. And guess what, guys? Depression is scary. First, the show takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where all humans were turned into these weird zombie sludge monsters. The main character Finn is the last human alive and is constantly conflicted with being alone in the universe. The Ice King used to be a brilliant scientist, but his mind was destroyed and he was turned into a bumbling oaf. On top of all this, the show constantly questions reality and existence, which makes me question reality and existence. And I'm like, god damn, I'm just trying to watch some cartoons on the couch and ignore my responsibilities. And now I'm thinking about whether or not there's a god? This is a lot. The show is amazing, but it could cause you to have a mental breakdown if the concepts are too much for your little brain. Number 1, SLNIECKO. So what we have brought out on the top of our list, well, it's a kids show from the former Czechoslovakia. Because the show's in a foreign language, I can't really tell you what the show's about. It seems like something to do with educating kids, but it was put on the top of the list because of its disfigured puppet character, Rafafak Placha. Oh my god, this thing looks like it crawled out from under the earth's crust to eat babies and fart in your banana basket. It's so creepy. No puppet should be this big. Big Bird is up there, but at least he looks wholesome. Not like Earthworm Jim crossed between Professor Wily from Mega Man. I seriously don't know how anyone thought this ghoul would be appealing to kids. Maybe next time start with something that looks like a dog or something cute as your mascot. Not Mad Scientist Giraffe Man. Alright everyone, that's our list. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Like always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, follow Most Amazing Top 10 on Instagram, Facebook, all the other social media platforms. It's a great way to get more content and get to know myself and other hosts a little bit better. Until next time, I've been Shady Reyna, and I'm gonna go let my eyes bleed in peace.